Here. Today we have a new video, and it's not going to have a ton of news for today, but let's just get right into the first story here. This is an update to the Banks and Alyssa Violet situation that just went down yesterday. If you guys don't know what happened, pretty much Alyssa Violet and Faze Banks got into a fight with other people at a bar called the Barley House, and it was a pretty big deal. Obviously, Faze Banks defended Alyssa Violet. He actually broke his hand by doing so, and they've actually been in a fight with the Barley House ever since. Barley House is saying that Faze Banks and Alyssa Violet are liars and manipulators, when a lot of fans are saying that's not the case. So Faze Banks decided to tweet this out last night. He said, "Barley House sure does operate with love, and their staff handles everything with excellence. These are real reviews posted way before our experience." So obviously Banks shows a bunch of different bad reviews on Yelp from people who went to the Barley House, and pretty much every establishment that's well known has bad reviews, but this one does have quite a bit of bad reviews, and obviously Banks is just trying to show here that other people had a bad experience there too. So maybe the Barley House is lying and they're just trying to cover themselves with that statement. I mean, who knows? Obviously, we want to see the video footage of what actually happened here. The Barley House claimed they had video footage of this incident, so I would love to see them make that public. Now, the video footage of this whole incident was actually just recently released by a local Cleveland news station. That's right, this news station made this whole story on it last night. Now, it honestly did seem like this local news station was being extremely biased against Alyssa and Banks here, dude. Like, they only showed really one side of the story. They showed a very small clip of Banks in the beginning, but that was it, dude. They didn't even get Banks' statement or an interview from Banks. They just talked to Barley House and showed clips out of context of the whole situation. So we still don't know the full story here, but they did show us some video footage here, and I really do want to share this with you guys because this is just crazy. And keep in mind, they also show the fights from Alyssa and Banks, where Alyssa gets hit and then Banks defends her, and it's pretty crazy, man. Now, viewer discretion is advised. I want to give a huge warning here, obviously for YouTube reasons. If you are underage or anything and you don't want to watch a fight scene, then definitely click off and don't watch this part. But we are going to show you guys a fight between Faze Banks and a lot of other people, and like I said, this is all for news reporting. We're not trying to instigate violence here, so hopefully YouTube doesn't get super angry at me over showing this, but just watch this.
Tapes tell the tale. This is Ricky in a restricted area. A bouncer asks him to go upstairs. His reaction is anything but calm.
You see the guy with the hat
way upright.
You can see him
waving his hands there, taunting.
Getting aggressive.
He wanted to wait for Alyssa, who was in a woman's room. Things got ugly. As they're escorted to the main floor, bouncers are escorting Ricky on the steps. Alyssa, with a hat, is riding on the back of a bouncer. Eventually, you see Ricky walking out on his own, disproving his claim that he was nearly choked out by the bouncer. Outside, it got uglier, but in large measure by the couple pointing cell phone cameras at other customers. Alyssa has the bright light.
He comes up here to grab his girlfriend. Alyssa jumps right in his face. He swipes the camera out of her phone, and that guy's girlfriend punches her. Now, Ricky comes out of nowhere and starts pounding this guy in the face from behind. Totally cheap shotting him.
Okay, so obviously there is a lot to digest here, and we don't have the full story yet. We don't have the full video yet. They just showed very, very brief clips here in the news report, and honestly, I feel like they need to show the entire thing so we know what's going on here, but they did show the fight, and we can clearly see that Alyssa was recording them. Okay, she wasn't being violent, but she was recording them, maybe to show them to her social media. Maybe she was recording herself. We don't really know, but the boyfriend comes over. He slaps the phone out of her hand. Obviously, she's like, "What the heck? Like, why did you just get violent with me? Why did you just touch me?" And then the girlfriend comes in, punches Alyssa in the face, okay, and then Banks comes in and I guess tries to defend Alyssa. Now, obviously, I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to say, well, Banks was way too violent there. And obviously, violence is never the answer, but you always have to defend yourself. You can't just let your guard down and have people just stomp all over you. Like, the girlfriend and the guy got violent with Alyssa first, and then Banks came in at the end. And I feel like we still don't have the full story. I feel like there still probably was more stuff that went down that Banks will explain in his video, but that is crazy, dude. That footage is so next level. I've never seen anything this big with YouTube drama, especially with Faze Banks and Alyssa Violet, and I'm sure we're going to have to get the full story to this week, and I'm just excited to see what else comes out about this. I've seen a ton of different news stations saying that they're going to interview the owners of the Barley House today. Now, even more news just came out on this whole story here. Faze Banks tweeted this out. He said, "This is from Maria, an employee of the Barley House ownership and a friend of the bar, referring to the situation that happened between myself and Richie, the bouncer, in the basement. So Maria says here, I know and I appreciate you guys so much for that. I know what I saw in the beginning, and I'm not going to stand up for Richie because he was the one who started it. So if you guys don't know, Richie was the one involved in this whole fight. Banks says, good, and you're the only witness, so there's that. Then she says, and we were literally allowed to go down, and I know Richie put his hands on you first, and I know you weren't in the woman's restroom. He says, exactly. As a customer, fuck all BS with your job and put that aside for 1 second. Do you feel like we were mistreated and mishandled by Barley's staff? And do you think they could have or should have done a better job protecting us? She responded to that saying, yeah, I do feel like they could have done better 100%. And it also looks like the YouTuber Alex Lang tweeted out saying, unfollowing people just to prove a point is awfully childish. Now, if you don't remember, Alex Lang was associated with Team 10 before, and now it looks like Chance from Chance and Anthony has actually unfollowed him. And also, Jake Paul just uploaded a vlog today called Meet Nick Crompton's Boyfriend. Now, obviously, there's always been a lot of speculation that Nick Crompton was, in fact, into guys. I mean, obviously, there was like even leaked DMs and stuff from people showing that Nick Crompton was just into dudes and he was DMing guys and stuff like that. And this just proves it. It just proves that Nick Crompton's into dudes, and there's really nothing wrong with that. I mean, you could be whatever sexuality you want, right? You could be into unicorns for all I care. It's not that big a deal. It's just not something that I'm into, but if he's into it, there's no problem with that at all. And let's get into our next story today. This one comes from Whoa Vicky. Now, you guys probably know who Whoa Vicky is. She was the girl that got into all that drama with Rice Gum a while back. She just made a really racist diss track against Rice Gum, and a ton of people hated on her. I mean, she's really one of the most hated people right now in the YouTube scene, and she ended up posting this on Instagram yesterday. She said, me and my friends were jumped, but just watch this.
We're good. We were just mad because 3 men just jumped us.
I understand that, but y'all can't be out here fighting each other. Do you need to see an ambulance?
Yeah, I want to see it.
I got you. Look, calm down for me, all right? It's over with now. I know what happened. We try to get here as quickly as possible.
But y'all not going to do nothing to the guys. We're just going to let them go.
We don't have where they at. Y'all got a tag number and all that stuff? Okay, I can talk about the tag, but as far as like
I was saying, there's no point now because I know you're not.
Alright, so, man, would you like to go to the hospital?
My knee hurts.
Yeah, it's an abrasion. There's not really, honestly, they're not going to really do anything for that. There's no stitches.
You can rinse it off, put a band-aid on it so you can throw your pants like that.
But that's about all they're going to do.
It hurts really bad.
Yeah, they're not going to give you any pain meds or anything for that either. So.
It's road rash. It's going to hurt. It's going to burn. It's
Yeah,
like getting carpet burn. You ever had carpet burn? It's going to burn for a
It
few
hurts
days.
worse.
You need
No, my knee is like it all hit the ground, so my whole knee hurts.
Yeah, but you
There's
walked
no
over here.
swelling, though.
Yeah, and you walked over here.
You can rinse it off, put a band-aid on it,
Or do you have any new Neosporin?
If I go to the hospital, are they going to pay for it?
Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys know about the whole YouTube demonetization thing where a lot of YouTubers are getting their videos demonetized, and people are just really angry at that yellow dollar sign. That yellow dollar sign that everyone gets on their videos now, even small YouTubers get it all the time, and it's so frustrating because you can't even make a penny off of your video, or sometimes you can make a couple cents, but it's really close to nothing, and a lot of small YouTubers are getting angry by this, and it turns out one YouTuber known as Gonzalo Ortiz had enough of this, and he decided to actually go to one of the Google headquarters here, and he said, I actually went with the sign so I could get Susan fired. I have video footage as well. I am the first one to do this, guys. And he shows here that he actually put up a sign right on the Google official headquarters sign in front of their building saying fire Susan for, I guess, the whole demonetization thing. But enough bashing YouTube right now. Like, I feel like we're just always attacking YouTube, and I understand they do have a handful to deal with. I definitely would not want to be an employee for YouTube right now. That doesn't sound very fun. But that's it for our video today, guys. I hope